Crolister, the Master Opponent. In this video, I will be playing the second game in the Metroid series, Return of Samus, on the Nintendo Game Boy. So, this game was a bit of a gap in between the original Metroid. I'm gonna erase the date on my save file so I can start again. From the original Metroid by release, it was a bit of a gap because, the first Metroid was 1986. I think it might have been 1987 overseas. And this game was released in 1991. So, 5 years apart, it got its sequel. It definitely deserved it, though, because Metroid's freaking amazing. So, yeah. This game was released on the Game Boy in 1991, and would later get a remake on the 3DS with Metroid Samus Returns. So, In the game's story, Samus goes to Planet SR388 under a mission where she is assigned to terminate the Metroid race entirely on their homeworld. SR388 is their homeworld, obviously. So you're gonna go out and destroy all the Metroids on the planet, essentially. Following the original Metroid storyline where the Metroids were obviously being used by the space pirates as a plot to attack civilization. The Metroid series does take quite a lot of inspiration from the Alien movies by Ridley Scott, which, by the way, the character Ridley was named after. And this game more obviously does it with the second entry in the Alien movies, basically. I watched the first Alien movie while I had the chance to do so on YouTube, and it's definitely a horror movie, not for the faint of heart. I watched a few horror movies of different sorts where nearly everybody died in them, and I can take those better than a lot of other people can, though it's still mind-poisoning, and it still kind of haunts my dreams every so often. So, here we go. You go right first. There's a dead end to the left of the ship. And we're off. You actually have the morph ball from the beginning, as well as some missiles. And what got me in my very first playthrough is that you have the ability to aim downward while you're jumping, which I didn't interpret at first playing it on the 3DS. That's probably the fault of the original Metroid, in my opinion. You shoot your way through the blocks while avoiding the enemies. There are some secret passages around the entry point that you can find with the morph ball to get through the first part of the game a little bit faster. We're gonna go left here. Keep in mind that you can crouch in this game. The first game in the series where you can crouch. You couldn't do that in the original Metroid. So many quality of life improvements with every entry in the series. That's how you do sequels. The water here kind of limits your movement a little bit, so try to jump over that. And up ahead we have our first Metroid. Now, the Metroids evolve and assume different forms in this game, being that this is on their homeworld. These are called Alpha Metroids, and for some reason this one pestered me. They're supposed to be really easy. 5 missiles destroys them. Luckily, there's a hidden place here where you can reload your missiles and health as soon as you interface with them. Every area of SR388 has a certain number of Metroids you're supposed to look for, which you can see the exact number by pausing the game. After you destroyed all of them, the lava on the planet will drain and unlock the next area so you can find the next set of Metroids. While you're playing, in the corner of the screen, it'll show you the remaining Metroids on the entire planet. And if you pause the game, it'll show you the remaining Metroids that are left in the most recently unlocked area. You can stand on these pedestals and press plus to save your progress if you wish. There's no need for me to do that if I play the game, because I can no-death play through this game and other games in the series, up to, like, 0 mission on command. It's a lot harder in Metroid Dread because of the enemies. In the other classic games, though, I can pretty much no-death play through them on command. And I actually know where every single power-up is in the game in Super Metroid. I can 100% that game. Haven't really seen anybody do that yet on YouTube, unless I wasn't researching enough. You can look forward to that up ahead. Different enemies will appear the further you go in the planet, also, and some of the later enemies will inflict more damage on you than the earlier ones. So we're in the first area, besides the surface. Run, Samus, run. For these spawning bug enemies, I'm going to wait until they drop an item and just purposely jump over the item to keep them from respawning as I try to jump across. Many of the areas of the planet have a citadel with some useful power-ups you can find within them. I recommend going the way of the citadels first before going through the winding caves where more of the Metroids are. Because obviously the more power-ups you have that you can hold at once, the more efficient Samus will become. And in turn, the more likely you are to survive. Every chamber has a door that's openable by 5 missile shots. Then you shoot the ball in the Chozo statue, and you get a power-up. Our first power-up is the Morphing Ball Bombs. Use it immediately here in the room to get some extra missiles. Can't have too many missile reserves. I haven't really played this game in a while, so it took me a little bit to figure out where I needed to go in some parts. I was going the right way here, though. Just like with the original Metroid, there are more energy tanks in this game than you can have by capacity. So, just get enough of them, like 5. And they will increase your vitality by 100 points. Super useful. This is where you can get the Ice Beam, which freezes enemies in place with your shots, and then you can safely stand on them. Just like with the original Metroid, though, the beam items cancel each other in this game, so you can only have one kind of beam power-up at once, as opposed to conjoining them, the same problem you had with the Ice Beam and the Wave Beam in the first game. Super Metroid and onwards, we no longer have that problem. You also have to be careful of the Chozo statues that shoot at you, because if your Ice Beam shot hits the bullet first, it'll freeze the bullet, and then you have to change your position to shoot the statue. Which is a little annoying. Metroid membranes are supposed to be a hint that you're near where one of the Metroids are. It's not down here, though. What is down here is a mandatory power-up called the Spider Ball, which enables you to climb along the perimeters of walls and ceilings while in Morph Ball form. Just tap down while in Morph Ball form to engage. In this game, you cannot go into Morph Ball form while you're in mid-air, like you can in Super Metroid, so just remember that if you want to try this game out for yourself. I am playing this on the Nintendo Switch's NSO app, so if you have Nintendo Switch Online default membership, you can play this game on the Game Boy app. I was just messing around here. There's no real important area up here at all. The Metroid is through here. See, here it is. Even if you want a spider ball along the ceiling of the cavern, there are spikes placed on the ceilings in parts that prevent you from climbing all the way around. Besides that, there are still some more missile reserves I gotta pick up within the Citadel. As you can see. While spider-balling along the ground and ceiling while dropping bombs, you gotta make sure not to let the bomb go off-screen, or it'll get cancelled. We're gonna spider ball along this wall. There. And down here. There are certain enemies that'll always give you health if they drop an item, and some that'll always give you missiles if they drop an item. Since I have the ice beam, I can just freeze them and jump over them without having to wait for them to spawn an item drop. So now we're gonna go this way. You do need the bombs in order to progress here. Spider Ball is also required. So in this case, you have to go to the Citadel before exploring the caves, where the other Metroids are. Sand blocks can be destroyed with your beams and your bombs. The thorn-looking plant vegetation also damages you on contact. And your jumping ability is a little limited inside the Metroid membranes. Not in here. It's in here. Like I said, if you pause the game, you can see exactly how many Metroids are left in a specific area. After you destroyed all of them, the next area opens, by means of the lava draining. Not sure why that's randomly there. See, you can't go into morph ball form while in midair in this game. You have to bounce with a bomb or use the spring ball, and then activate Spider Ball. There's a well-hidden health recharger, if you can figure it out around here. There. So, we are entering the second area. These creatures are harmless. They just descend a bit as you stand upon them. There's a Metroid in here, which is why there are no spawning enemies. There's another one taken care of. Fake lava. Careful, this blaster. If you want to know how to erase your save data on your save slot so you can start a new playthrough, like I did at the beginning of the video, just press select and hold it, and you can access clear as an option from there on the title screen. There are a good number of useful items we're going to get besides just missile reserves in this citadel. Before we get to the one I'm getting first, though, there is another Alpha Metroid. I'll blow him away. Spider Ball up here. Got a long ways to wait here, so... This one is well hidden. You can see there's no ball held by the Chozo statue. If you crawl along here, though, you got a bunch of balls that you get through by using bombs. If you play with the Game Boy Color filter like I am, it'll be distinguished by color, since you can shoot instead of bombing it. And we got the Various Suit, which is an extremely useful item to have. It reduces the amount of damage you take by 50%. Since the original Game Boy obviously didn't have color, they had to make the design of the Various Suit be a visual difference rather than a color difference. Hence the origin of Samus's iconic rounded shoulders armor for the Various Suit depiction, which is often seen as her main depiction throughout the series. That's not going to do any good. The power-ups in this sector are not necessarily required like they are in the first one, just strongly recommended. In this playthrough, I actually destroyed all the Metroids before getting any of the items, with the exception of the Various Suit. This is what I like to call the pointless room, because there's no point in this room being here at all. It's just completely empty after where you had to fight one of the Metroids. Why did they even include this? They had some places like that in the original Metroid as well. Of course, they fixed that in Zero Mission. This is the first Gamma Metroid. Gamma Metroids charge towards you faster than Alphas do, and will intermittently shoot a plasma ray that'll deflect your missiles. So you have to aim at them carefully. 10 missiles required to destroy them. In some places of the game, Gamma Metroids can be super annoying. Another Gamma. Wow. All the Metroids are in this part, anyway. Then there's another one in a well-hidden place up here. In some ledges, like these ones that are kind of choppy, it can be difficult to relocate the control you have to input to continue going while using Spider Ball. There's a Metroid in here as well. Well, hidden secret here, so... See, I got all the Metroids before I got any of the power-ups, besides the various suit in this playthrough. There are some highly useful items we're going to get before we proceed. I'm gonna get those on my way back. Next, we're gonna go this way. This is where you get the high jump, which increases your maximum jumping height. Also super useful. And this is where you get the energy tank that we saw earlier. You have to shoot off and jump along the Chozo faces to climb this. A somewhat less intimidating version of what you have to do in Kraid's lair in the original game. Just remember that if a respawning block respawns over top you in this game, like with the original, you will take some damage. And here you get the optional wave beam. More damage in range than the standard beam, and can damage certain enemies the other weapons in the game, missiles included, cannot damage. Only the wave beam can damage these obstacles. No other weapon in the game can, not even missiles. And then instead to give you a power-up, this Chozo statue spawns a sub-boss. You definitely want to use bombs against this one. And your reward for defeating that annoying creature is the Spring Ball, which allows you to jump as a Morph Ball. Now, Morph Ball navigation will be a little bit less annoying. I made it anyway. To where I wanted to go. I got a bunch of flies bothering me in my house at the moment, so showing I'm not playing around. So we're in the third area now. There are a whopping 10 Metroids in total in this area, and some of them are not easy to find. Without the wave beam, these shielded gliding enemies like the one I just shot out would be a lot harder to destroy. That's mainly the reason why I favor the wave beam in this game. Again, I'm gonna wait for them to drop an item before I jump across. Yeah. Now I can proceed. There is a missile reloader here. There's a required power-up here, the space jump. It allows you to jump continually in midair while flipping. You have to be careful of your jumping placement though, because if you press jump again at the wrong moment, it'll go to waste. There are some Metroids in the Citadel in this area, and others among the winding caves. So, gotta be careful around these blasters. There's gonna be a lot more Gamma Metroids also, need I mention. I'm having trouble trying to engage this one. Because you have to get close enough for them to fight, and I keep falling. This is a really bad place to have to fight a Gamma. There's another one. This is where the plasma beam is, if you want it. I'm not going to use it, though, because I find the wave beam to be better. For a few different reasons. And the beam power-ups cancel each other out in this game. Plasma beam is also single fire instead of triple fire. And has more limited range compared to the wave beam and the spacer. So, what's the point, really? A well-aimed space jump ignition like this will allow you to do it without moving forward or backward. There are also laser blasters through here that have minds of their own. Gotta go up here. That was well deserved. Right here is where you get the Spacer, which shoots 3 bolts simultaneously at once, and has a wider hit range than the other beams, basically. Again, I still use the Wave Beam because it can destroy enemies that the other weapons, missiles included, cannot destroy. And in this game, the beam items cancel each other out, unfortunately. Got another illusion puzzle here. That's the missile tank you saw earlier. There's a Gamma Metroid in here. Ha! Hammer that one. The Metroid membranes limit your jumping and movement a little, so. While there are these mechanical platforms on the side there, they flip downward after a bit, and do so like they have a mind of their own. At least I didn't have to wait for any of those on the way back. Alright then. It'll be very easy to get lost from here. So annoying. There's an alpha here that's not so hard to find. And then in the same place, another Metroid that's a lot harder to find. In order to find it, you have to fall through this membrane down here. You also have to shoot away some of the vegetation before you can land hits on it. A problem which it's a Gamma. These Gamma Metroids are an absolute nuisance at best. So here is a hidden health recharger. Make sure to shoot the vegetation out before you approach it. You have to be close enough to them to keep fighting them. So. Hate those guys. So, this is the 4th area. There's a lot of block jumping and sturdy enemies you gotta fight through. This is so boring. Only one Metroid in this area, and it's a Gamma. Notice how the lava didn't drain at that part down here. And do you recall a part that was submerged still after the 3rd area was completed? Well, the 5th area is within the 3rd area, and that's where we're to go now. Down here. This area just has an Alpha Metroid and a Gamma Metroid. We're gonna do the Gamma first. In the room with the Gamma Metroid, there's a missile reloader. Massive failure. This one is an alpha, like I said. This room has a health reloader. Tried to keep a low height while jumping in morph ball form to get across here, to reduce your bouncing. It's like 5 in the morning, and somebody's driving by on a motorcycle. Talk about rude. People drive on motorcycles at uncomfortably late hours like that just to cause trouble. Because they're like noise addicts. I'm exactly the opposite. I hate loud noises. I always have. So, we're proceeding into the 6th area. You will need to shoot missiles at these blocks to go. Gamma in here. You will need to use the space jump to get through here. You know what's even more hateful than Gamma Metroids? Zeta Metroids. Zeta Metroids are the most annoying freaking enemy ever in a Metroid game. I absolutely hate these guys. You can only damage them horizontally, meaning you cannot shoot them from below. And dodging their attacks is borderline impossible. It really is. On top of taking more shots to destroy the Gammas do. I absolutely hate these guys. Absolutely hate them. You only have to fight 3 in the entire game. All of which are in this area. In Samus Returns, the Zeta Metroids were made so that they were actually decently fun to fight against, and Omega Metroids were the hardest in the game, as they should be. So... keep in mind that taking damage disrupts the space jump as well. There's a Gamma in here. I'll take a Gamma Metroid over a Zeta Metroid every day. There are different chambers in the Citadel along the side of the wall here that take you to different chambers that have each of the 4 different power-up beams, if you want to change any of them during this scene. I'm sticking with the wave beam, though, so I can go up against these shield-face enemies. So I can hit them as I wish. This is a pitch-black room, where you have to kind of run around with the spider ball and bombs to figure out where to go to get the energy tank, as well as a missile tank. Right here. Without a doubt, I required that health refill. There we go. Also, you cannot descend downward through that Metroid membrane. You can only go upward through it. Otherwise, getting that energy tank would be too easy. Wow. Here's a Gamma encased in sand. Here's a missile reloader. This is where we have to deal with another Zeta Metroid. Seriously, I hate those blood maples. For some reason, the spider ball doesn't always work after a jump in some areas. Anyways, after you deal with that nuisance, the Zeta Metroid, there's an extremely helpful item well hidden in here as well. And this will be the final main power-up in the game. That's right, the screw attack. Now we can destroy enemies by flipping into them. Just remember that in this game, Samus stops flipping after she descends below where she first jumped. So, gotta be careful. Or do well-aimed re-jumps with the space jump like I'll do after dealing with another Gamma Metroid up there, in order to sustain it a long distance. Alright. And after you deal with that, there's also a health reloader here. There's one more Metroid in the 6th area, and it's the 3rd and final of the Zeta Metroids. Even worse, it's encased in sand. And like I said, you can only damage them horizontally. They're immune to vertical missile shots, which makes them even worse. Zetas are not fun to fight at all. Just be thankful that this is the last of those. So we're in the 7th area now. Teasingly, you're fighting an Alpha Metroid here. And even more teasingly, after you destroy that Metroid, the area floods up, forcing you to do another loop around. And then here, you're introduced to the Omega Metroid. Omega Metroids are actually decently fun to fight, if you know how to fight them. From the front, they would take 40 missiles, and they are immune to vertical shots like Zetas are. However, if you shoot them in the back, they'll take more damage and will require about 15 hits. So jump around them if you can while they're doing their dashing towards you, and shoot them in the back as much as possible to take them out quickly. In my honest opinion, the Omega Metroids in this game are nowhere near as bad to deal with as Zetas, and are actually kind of fun. Now we can progress to the 8th area. So here we are in the 8th area, where we will be fighting 3 more Omega Metroids. This area definitely gives me more fear vibes because of the way the scenario looks. The fireballs kind of split once they hit the ground also, so be prepared to jump as they land. The Omega Metroids kind of shake their legs a bit to show you that they take more damage if you shoot them in the back. Now then. The lava here is fake, so no worries there. The screw attack does kind of deflect damage against them, though they'll continue coming at you repeatedly the more you do it. So if they start coming at you while you're flipping, you're gonna be taking a lot of damage. They become a bit more aggressive the more aggressively you move. So. There's one more of those left to go. Master opponent. I just beat an Omega Metroid without taking any hits at all. Like I said, they're nowhere near as bad to deal with as the Zebes. Not in this game, anyway. So with this, we have opened the final area. Which is down here. If I remember right, I think there might be pitfalls where the water is that drag you down to a lower part of this sector. So avoid falling in. You cannot use the spider ball nor bounce with bombs in the water here. The only way to go up is to use space jump. With well aim, obviously. In here, there's a missile reloader and a health reloader. Up here, you can get the ice beam. This is required in order to progress. So we have to forfeit the wave beam right here. Note the egg you see here. And all of a sudden, there are even more Metroids we need to worry about. These are classic Metroids that, latch on you and drain your health. You freeze them with the ice beam quickly, and then give them 5 missiles. You must destroy all of these in order to progress to the final battle. Since missiles are single fire, it's best to shoot them with the missiles up close, so you can get them before they thaw. Bad. If you do get a Metroid stuck on you, use bombs to try and shake it off. Alright, that's all of them. Now we can progress. The final Metroid on the planet is none other than the Metroid Queen. Not a pushover by any means. An easy way to damage it is to shoot it while its mouth is open with your missiles, which will stun it temporarily. Then you can jump into its mouth in morph ball form and drop a bomb inside of its stomach. Just know that you'll take damage while you're in there. Enough missiles in the head will also do. Doing the ball bomb trick like this, though, will accelerate the process. It'll start to attack faster the more damaged it is. And this was not my best performance against it, mind you. May it look like you have to spring ball jump to get in. Enough's enough. Then after the Queen Metroid is out of the picture, you just progress here. Then the Metroid egg hatches, and it follows you as if it were your child. And you have to make the Metroid hatchling eat the diamond-shaped walls in order to progress. Big space jump up here. If you jump too high, also, there's like a ceiling of lava that'll damage you, so there's kind of a boundary limit to how high you can jump on the surface. Then you enter the starship, and that ends the game. Just like with most of the other Metroid games, you get a different ending screen depending on how quickly you beat the game. If you take more than like about 8 hours, Samus will just be idle the entire credits. If it takes you between like 3-ish and 8 hours, she'll run like this and jump at the end. And if you beat the game quickly, like I did, after she jumps and flips, she'll be in the swimsuit and pose by taking off her hair tie. So, there you go. So, after this game, I already did the original Metroid, if you haven't seen me do that game yet, and you want to check that out as well. After this game, we get to do Super Metroid, up ahead, which is like the fan favorite of the series. Like I said, I can 100% that game, so I am looking forward to doing my take at that for a video as well. So, yeah. I really like classic Metroid, so I will be playing some more of these games on my channel, so you can look forward to that. And also consider following me if you like some other franchises, like Mega Man, or I would like to do Pokemon as well. As much as possible. So, lots of different sorts planned for my channel up ahead. So, with that ends the playthrough of this game, the second game of the Metroid series, Return of Samus, with plenty more to come up ahead. So until my next upload, I am Crowlister, Master of Ponage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next upload. That's a woman under there.